I knew from the time she was born that there was something wrong. And everyone was just like, oh, you're a first-time mom, it's anxiety, it's whatever. And she was struggling so much. Like, the only way she would eat is at night. She'd just scream whenever we offered her food during the day. She was up every hour at night to feed. And even then, like, she'd eat just enough and not want to eat anymore. And she had terrible eczema. It would cry from her stomach hurting.
When Tilly's struggles first became evident to us, we knew that something wasn't quite right, but it was really difficult, not having any prior experience to draw on.
It was just hard. Our lactation consultant helped us so much and directed us to a good pediatrician within the Ochsner network that she recommended. And I remember sitting in the parking lot at the Grove just crying after that appointment because Dr. Hogan listens to everything we said.
So I met Tilly when she was about 4 months old and started taking care of her at that point. They came and just kind of knew that there was something going on, but hadn't been able to pinpoint anything in particular. My role was to just point the family in the right direction of who they needed and which specialists and therapists were going to help Tilly the most.
When she got to our speech therapy team, they were working on feeding. And then at that point, Tilly was about a year and a half at that point, and the feeding therapist noted some additional concerns as we were moving into more speech targets.
We couldn't figure out at first what was going on, why she wasn't able to talk, and you could tell she was very frustrated.
If you have all these ideas in your head and you can't get the words to come out of your mouth, that can be a really difficult situation to be in.
So she has apraxia, which is of speech, but it also is of the whole body. So we kind of label that dyspraxia in our OT world, and it's kind of motor planning, like how do I figure out how to make my body move?
And I mean, if you Google apraxia of speech, it's a lifelong condition. And we were Googling and scared ourselves. And it's something our daughter will struggle with for her whole life.
And we were lucky that we had a lot of professional experience and expertise that was quickly made available to us through Ochsner.
With Tilly, we were utilizing some sign language, but it becomes limiting at some point. Her understanding was much higher. And so she was, rightly so, getting frustrated, unable to tell people her thoughts. That's when we pulled in a speech generating device. At this point, Tilly uses the communication device for clarification. So as her speech is improving, others may not be able to always understand exactly what we're saying, so we can use it to clarify.
And then to be able to provide the services that she needed that research shows is best for children with childhood apraxia of speech, get her in multiple times a week, doing occupational therapy so that she could say the sounds.
I mean, everyone knows everybody there, and we're able to have co-treats with Tilly's speech therapist, with her occupational therapist in the same building. Tilly's familiar in the environment, so she immediately makes a lot more progress. And they've changed her life. Fundamentally, like, the child she is today is able to communicate with people, and we weren't sure if she'd ever be able to speak properly. And it's been a huge amount of work from her therapist, and they've changed her life. And ours as well, because you see your child make this progress, and it's extraordinary.
Tilly has been the one doing all the hard work. She's gained a lot of confidence. She knows herself, and she knows what she wants and what she doesn't want.
Everybody should have a voice in this world, and everybody should have a way to communicate their wants, thoughts, and needs. Non-speaking is not non-thinking, and it's not non-knowing.
I mean, I think for the future, for us, seeing that she's going to be able to have a future, I mean, she's going to be able to go to school. She's going to be able to have the sort of experience that, any average kid's going to be able to have.
And they've really given Tilly an outcome that I don't think without their support that we could ever have hoped for.
Dangerous to see.
Thank you, Miss Claire.
Thank you, Miss Claire. Thank you, Miss Missy.